Hello. What's going on, guys? Good morning. How y'all doing? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and we are finally going to catch up on all my wrestling content from this week. Of course, starting off this morning with my preview and predictions, then probably later today, probably later this afternoon, or early this evening, I will be doing my AEW Dynamite review and my SmackDown review as well. Again, it's just been a crazy back and forth week, so to say. You know, I was supposed to do some of this stuff on Thursday. Unfortunately, Thursday was just not a good night for me. And last night, I was just catching up on. I didn't have time to do this stream before SmackDown because I was trying to catch up with as much of Dynamite as I can before SmackDown. And then once I watched SmackDown after the show, I had like a half hour of Dynamite to catch up with. And unfortunately, I fell asleep on the couch. So the only thing I missed from Dynamite was the main event. Jon Moxley and whoever Eddie Kingston chose to challenge him for the AEW World Championship. So again, if you saw it already, no spoilers, but I gotta rewatch that. But I do have a family get together this afternoon that I'm going to, so I want to catch up with both of those reviews this evening. I could have come up here last night. I was hoping for a second wind at some point last night. Unfortunately, I just did not have the energy. And this is one of those videos that I want to go in with the right amount of energy, in the right mindset, just not like half-assing it, because I don't want to half-ass a preview and predictions video for a show like this. Well, I'm not saying this is going to be a show that knocks the socks off, of course, but an interesting turning point maybe for NXT. So I do apologize about constantly making you guys wait this week. It's just, it happens. Next week, though, is my last week of work before my vacation, so I'll be taking the following week. I'm going to be off for a whole week, so maybe I might try to do, something extra here or there, while I'm off work for a week. But we'll go from there. But enough with the introduction. What is going on, guys? This is the Club of the Man 1993. These are my live preview and predictions for NXT TakeOver 31, taking place tomorrow night, October 4th, 2020, on the WWE Network, and I believe it's going to be at Full Sail University, as usual. We have 5 matches announced on this card, and also one return that we're going to talk about before we get into it. Now, this is going to be a very intriguing show. Well, let's put it this way. This, to me, no doubt about it, has been the weakest build to a takeover I have seen. It is. One reason mainly because it's only been a little over a month since the last takeover. They pulled it off before when they had TakeOver Chicago back in 2017. They only had like a month build for that. Somehow they pulled off a really great show, especially the big turn at the end with Tommaso Ciampa turning on Johnny Gargano. So it is possible for NXT to pull it off. However, right now, of course, again, NXT, as I keep saying, is it horrible? No. But is it its strongest? No. Most of it's because of the pandemic. It's not their fault. NXT in the stages right now is not their fault, in my opinion. Well, the wrestlers, at least. The audience is not there. I mean, yes, we still have some people at Full Sail, but it's not enough at all to give it the audience it had before. So that's one thing it's missing. Second thing it's missing, of course, is, of course, a top babyface. Which I feel like this show, if done right, could build that next top babyface for NXT. Which I will get to that, of course, later on in the show. Because, realize who they lost within the past couple months, this past summer. They lost Matt Riddle to the main roster. They lost Keith Lee to the main roster. Karrion Kross due to injury. Johnny Gargano is a what the heck who knows what now as a heel. And Velveteen Dream completely shattered to pieces because of the allegations he's had against him. And I still think WWE has not yet done the right thing and just come out and talk about it. I mean, I've heard Triple H said in an interview that he was only off because of the car accident. But let's be real again. WWE really has not, NXT of course also, has not really given the audience that closure when it comes to like Velveteen Dream and these allegations. It still feels like there may be more to the story, because I can't say if he was innocent or not. I can't. I trust that WWE would not put someone back on TV though if they were not innocent. Because look, they got rid of Gentleman Jack Gallagher. They got rid of Travis Banks and Ligero on NXT UK. They obviously again do not completely take it for granted. It's just I feel like they needed to come out with something else, in my opinion. So that's also affected. And then let's get to another point as well I want to make here. So for years, we all been saying that some people should just not touch the main roster, or some people should go back. The guys I'm talking about, like, Johnny Gargano or Tommaso Ciampa, who are obviously main roster ready. They were going to probably get a main roster run back in 2019, last year, whenever they were briefly on the main roster right before, they turned on each other again in 2019. They were about to be on the main roster. But then, of course, Tommaso Ciampa's injury changed it all, I felt. And honestly, those are guys that should be staying in NXT. Or guys like Finn Balor, who came back to NXT. And yes, he's NXT champion now. Excellent. The problem is what else is there for them to work with? What else is there to work with? That's the problem I'm seeing also. With more and more stars staying in NXT, and more stars, just not really have much of a direction to work with, it's kind of making the brand feel like, it's kind of making NXT feel like WWE's third brand. It doesn't feel like a place you go to polish up your skills before getting to the big stage. No. It's starting to make NXT feels like WWE's third brand, which cannot happen. That cannot happen. NXT should feel like its own entity, an alternative to the main roster. Well, besides AEW now. And that's another problem. NXT needs to just tap out to the Wednesday Night Wars and move to like Thursdays or Tuesdays. Because they are right now in no competition to beating AEW. They're not. With how much, when NXT first moved to 2 hours last year, I said, cool, because at the time, the roster was stacked, there was a lot of talent, so you had some good ways to fill up the hour. They even brought back the Cruiserweight division to NXT, but the Cruiserweight's on NXT, even though 205 Live still exists. I don't know why, but again, I don't watch 205 Live anymore. I gave up on that show because I just watch whatever I see from the Cruiserweights on here. Santos Escobar on NXT, fine. Isaiah Swerve Scott, fine. Hope they keep, of course, doing that on NXT. But now that, of course, like I said before, people who have stayed in NXT are running out of options, or that the roster is thinned out with how many call-ups they've done lately. Is 2 hours really necessary anymore? You might want to consider going back to just 1 hour. Maybe the best thing to do. Oh, and also, don't forget who else did NXT lose this past summer? Mauro Ranallo, one of the best commentators in the business today. So, they've really, really took a hit. And this show, again, I feel like this is not going to be a bad show. But I'm not expecting it to be great. I'm expecting maybe like a decent to solid takeover. This just feels like a last-minute pay-per-view thrown together. This is going to feel like a normal week of NXT, I feel like, for the most part. Like, what swerves can you really pull out of this show. No pun intended, because of the one match. There really is only one match that I feel like could pull off some type of like a cliffhanger, some type of like a hook, something to give something a different direction. And again, what I'm saying also could help make the next big babyface in NXT. So that's just where I'm sitting. Again, I don't hate NXT. I still love NXT. It's still worthwhile checking out. Well, I know there's some people I said that here are tapping out. I can get it. I still don't think it's a complete waste. It's not. But they definitely need to get something going sooner rather than later. But again, like I said, this to me has the potential to maybe be the weakest takeover yet. As far as which one I do think is the weakest, I'd still say it's either Orlando, San Antonio, or TakeOver the End. One of those three I'd still say is the weakest takeover, in my opinion. But without further ado, let's roll into these predictions. First, let's check the live chat. What's going on, J.R. Campbell? He says, what's up? Not too much, just much more rested than I was last night. I was so tired last night of the shows. He can't wait to see the theme versus Kevin Owens, whereas the Fiend Bray Wyatt next week. Yeah, that would be interesting for sure as well. I mean, I've always wondered what Kevin Owens and Bray Wyatt could do against each other. But of course, it's a little bit weird because it's a cross-brand thing. And like I said, I'm not a fan of cross-brand things. You're going to have a brand split right now. I mean, well, okay, I was fine with it at first when they announced the brand-to-brand invitation. But now they're definitely overdoing it with the brand-to-brand invitation. So hopefully this means, again, we get the draft and then we just cool off on that for a bit, because we've been doing that a little too much lately. But yeah, enough about. I don't know if I was hoping to try to maybe do a predictions video for the draft, maybe on Tuesday night or something like that. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see if I have the time for that, because I may not have the time to do that. We'll see. But thank you, J.R. Campbell, though, for your stuff in the live chat again. Definitely been a new subscriber and been a new loyal subscriber, so thank you for your support, man. So let's talk about TakeOver 31. Now that I got my introduction out of the way, talking about how this is dark times for NXT right now, but let's talk about this show and where I see things going. Especially, like I said before, there's one match I'm going to be talking about what could make somebody the next big babyface in NXT. So first, before I get into the matches, let's talk about one thing that has been advertised for this show. And that is, there is somebody returning to NXT. He's playing these vignettes about a former NXT champion returning to NXT. And they keep saying that it's going to happen on October 4th, which is tomorrow, at NXT TakeOver 31. There have been some takeovers lately that have had a sixth match thrown into the card. So I don't know, maybe that would lead into it being a sixth match. I'm not sure, because we have 5. But I'm at least going to tell you who I think it's going to be. Bo Dallas. I'm still putting all my money in on Bo Dallas. Who else could it possibly be? If I think about it, I mean, Samoa Joe's on commentary right now on Raw. I really don't see Samoa. I mean, and even when Samoa Joe's off commentary, I think if he ever does go back into the ring, I still think he'd be alright as a wrestler. I don't see him going back to NXT. Kevin Owens. Maybe, again, but I don't think it's happening. I think he's staying on the main roster, and I have another idea for Kevin Owens, which I'll talk about in my SmackDown review as well, or if I get to do a draft predictions. But I thought there has been times, if it's not for one thing, there have been times lately where I thought Kevin Owens should go back to NXT. I'm not going to deny that. Sami Zayn is the Intercontinental Champion, so I can't see that. One that I actually had a slight inkling about, but I highly doubt. I'm 5% sure this is going to happen. Let's put it that way. But I had a slight thought about it. What if it was Adrian Neville? What if Pac came back to NXT? But I don't think it's going to happen. Bobby Roode was definitely, I think, my second pick. Until he had that WWE Championship match with Drew McIntyre this past week. And he's advertised for Raw this coming Monday. So it's not going to be Bobby Roode, unfortunately. No, I'm sorry, Robert Roode, or as my mom calls him, Bathrobe Guy. Yeah, my mother calls Bobby Roode Bathrobe Guy because she thought she walked past my TV and saw his entrance and said, "Why is that guy wearing a bathrobe?" As I probably said on Raw this past week. So to me, who else really is there? Bo Dallas. I am still shocked that Bo Dallas was not released from WWE during that Black Wednesday that was back on April the 15th when WWE released a ton of superstars. I am still shocked. Well, a couple weeks later they released his tag team partner Curtis Axel, so I am definitely surprised Bo didn't go with him as well. But again, what's Bo done on the main roster? Nothing. Just been a part of a couple random tag teams. Only got a tag title run with the B team. Remember, B team, go, go, go! B team, go, go, go! And for a couple weeks, to be honest, I thought they were making it work. Especially, I thought the B team for a couple weeks showed they could play the guys that are trying to look good but can't look good. Like, they played that role right. Which some people, again, they try to play that role, make it seem like they know what they're doing, but they don't really, you know what I mean? Like that role, basically, where it's like, you're trying to play it's like whenever Braun Strowman feud with those two Saturday Night Live guys over the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. They were trying to make it look like those guys knew about wrestling. They did not. It was stupid. But, obviously Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas have a knowledge of wrestling. But to actually look like legitimate threats, trying to look like one, trying to look entertaining and whatnot, and not really quite succeeding with it, I thought they at times played that role really good. But of course, again, it only lasted for a couple weeks, and then they were back to nothing pretty much. So, what else do you got to do with Bo Dallas on the main roster? He's not even on. He has been shown on SmackDown again in God knows how long. So why not put him back in the place where he was a star? NXT. And maybe when he does come back, maybe all you gotta do is believe! So, I put my money on Bo Dallas. Because I really can't see anybody else. I mean, again, everybody else, to me, any former NXT champion has a direction. Or even Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura is tag team champions, though. He's not going back down to NXT. Drew McIntyre, of course, heck no. So if Bobby Roode did not return to TV this past week and was not advertised for a match on Raw this week, I would still say Bobby Roode would be a good candidate as well. But Bo Dallas, and again, just saying, what if it was Adrian Neville? But I highly doubt it. Big E also, but Big E, is getting a singles push on the main roster right now, so I definitely don't see Big E as well. Seth Rollins? Oh boy, Seth Rollins. He's in the midst of a story. But yeah, just trying to think of all the NXT champions and thinking, would this work? Would this work? Yeah. So really, the only candidate that's obvious to me is Bo Dallas. That's what we got. I mean, Ricochet would be a good choice also, but unfortunately, he was just an NXT North American champion, not an NXT champion. So, who knows? Or Aleister Black. Anything about Aleister Black? But they have a new direction for him on the main roster also. No. So, okay, I'm thinking Andrade. No, it's not. Okay, it's gonna be Bo Dallas. I'm saying Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas is my prediction to be the mystery person to show up at TakeOver 31. So that's that introduction right there. Let's roll into the actual matches itself. Starting off with the match now. This show, because of two matches though, I almost didn't predict these in order of how I think they're going to happen because I didn't want to spoil the results for one of the matches later in the show. But I still did it that way, so it is what it is. Let's just roll into the predictions. But the opening match I think is going to happen is the NXT Cruiserweight Championship match between Santos Escobar. I am Santos Escobar, and I am untouchable. And Isaiah Swerve Scott for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Simple storyline here. Santos Escobar has dominated the Cruiserweight division, of course, since coming to NXT as El Hijo del Fantasma, and since revealing himself of his true identity. I've liked Legado del Fantasma, but I still think they could have probably done something. They could have gone a little. They could have dug a little deeper with Legado del Fantasma, in my opinion. But Isaiah Swerve Scott, though, again, he is somebody that I still say has the potential to be a huge star. Heck, I mean, he's not the person I was going to refer to, but if you want to continue the path to making Isaiah Swerve Scott one of the biggest baby faces in NXT right now, this could be the start here, because my prediction is for Isaiah Swerve Scott to defeat Santos Escobar to win a Cruiserweight Championship against Santos Escobar. I'm fine with him. I still think they could do more with him with him and Legado del Fantasma, dig deeper into their characters. I think that they could do that. But I think Isaiah Swerve Scott, has his number. I mean, yes, he did lose one match to him because of distractions recently, but still, Santos Escobar is the only person that has defeated. I mean, Isaiah Swerve Scott is the only person that's defeated Santos Escobar in NXT, and that was during the round robin Cruiserweight Championship tournament when he was El Hijo del Fantasma. So, I'm going to say Scott winning the championship. And again, Santos Escobar will be fine. Again, I just don't think if I can talk for once, I still think that they can just dig a little bit deeper into Legado del Fantasma. They interest me. I do like them. But I think they can dig deeper into this character. And I also know a lot of other people are looking forward to this, because these two guys used to be in Lucha Underground, which I never really watched any Lucha Underground. But I know a lot of people. I think these guys have had a match before, from what I've heard from Just Alex and a couple other YouTubers I watch. These guys have had matches in Lucha Underground before, so for Lucha Underground fans, this is kind of like bringing Lucha Underground to NXT. So hopefully this will be a good opening match, and I think it will be again. Both these guys are talented, and they will deliver. So the first of a few title changes I have on the show is Isaiah Swerve Scott defeating Santos Escobar for the Cruiserweight Championship. And also, like I say, about time we get the Cruiserweight Championship on a TakeOver. I've been waiting for a long time to put the Cruiserweight Championship on a TakeOver. Even when they were just on 205 Live, when it was the WWE Cruiserweight Championship, I even thought they should have had a Cruiserweight title match on TakeOver. I'm just saying. It could have been awesome. But this still works. This is going to be a good match with Escobar and Swerve Scott. But that's not where the swerve is going to happen in the show. Alright, moving on to the second match. This was the match that I was very back and forth on who to win this match. And it was a tough prediction. And this was one match that I was going to save for later in the show, because it's going to spoil who I'm going to think is going to win another match. But let's talk about this match. The NXT North American Championship. Damian Priest, the Archer of Infamy, versus Johnny Gargano. So, this one was tough. This is the only match I went back and forth predicting who's going to win. Because, mainly for Johnny's sake. I'm going to continue to say this. I don't think this Johnny Gargano heel character is working. He's making the best he can of it. It's just not working for me. And the problem is, he's just not getting anything out of it. I get that they turned him heel because he was staying in NXT and they needed, and of course the fans were apparently starting to turn on him because, he was losing direction. Well, he's not really getting a direction as a heel either. And the problem is he's not winning. I mean, he's had a couple wins. Like he beats, Tommaso Ciampa, of course, in the one final beat match, which he should have. But where did it lead to him from there? He lost to Keith Lee. Good match, but he lost. He beat Roderick Strong. He beat Isaiah Swerve Scott, I believe, on a few matches I can think of. But he's still done nothing but lost. He's had how many North American Championship opportunities that he's lost? And he's picked up a few wins here and there. But to me, it's like he picks up those wins, then when he gets to, moments like this, he doesn't capitalize. And he's already had a few moments. he did not capitalize. Like, here's the thing. Like if the goal for him to stay in NXT was to put other people over, that's fine. But he still has to build his own stock himself to make his opponents look credible by beating him. And quite frankly, again, I'm just not feeling it right now with Johnny. It's like, one way to book Johnny, I mean, even though you can't like, duplicate the storylines and whatnot, is how they booked Chris Jericho in 2016-2017. Yes, he came back, he put over Dean Ambrose, he put over AJ Styles, but along the way, he still picked up a few wins himself to kind of keep his stock. Well, maybe not the one at WrestleMania 32. Maybe that one, I still don't think he should have won at WrestleMania 32 against AJ Styles. But he somehow made himself still feel relevant. That way he didn't feel like just another veteran there just, taking the pins for a lot of other people. And he even got a United States Championship run out of it. Although to this day, I still think they should have put the Universal title on him, even if it was just for 1 month. And that could have been what his match with Kevin Owens was at WrestleMania. They didn't have to, make Goldberg and Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. I'm sorry, I still thought that was stupid. They went that way with that feud. But yeah, so Johnny again has had how many North American Championship opportunities, and he's lost. But on the other hand, though, the thing about this show is that could Johnny and Candice come out as the Power Couple champions? But is the North American title really that title that make you consider a Power Couple champion? You know what I mean? Like, why make him feel like a mid-carder when he should be, a main eventer? Power Couple, if you know what I mean. Kind of spoiling my predictions for the other match. The other match, I'm definitely set on my pick with that, the women's title match. Of course, we'll get to that momentarily. But so it's like, this is a time where it's like you can't keep putting Johnny in these title matches and losing. Because to me, it feels like, okay, he's not booked like Baron Corbin, but it feels like Baron Corbin. He's just a heel who gets title. Like, if you need to put over a babyface in a title match, throw in Johnny Gargano and have them beat Johnny Gargano. It's like, no, like Johnny Gargano should not be getting that booking. And also, the fact that all three of Johnny's title reigns in NXT have been short. His tag title run was short. His North American title reign was only a month. And he only had one defense for the NXT Championship, and he lost it to Adam Cole at TakeOver 25. So, he needs a lengthy title reign. Like a 6-month title reign. But for this situation here, even though once again there really is not much of a story at all to this feud, the thing is though is, do I want Damian Priest to already drop the North American title? That's where I hit my crossroads here. Like I didn't want to see either one of these guys lose. However, though, what made me think this again is the draft is coming up this coming week. There has been rumors of maybe a couple superstars from NXT getting called up. Which, okay, how many more are you going to call up and take away from the talent in NXT? I really don't think NXT can afford to lose any more superstars. Unless they bring some back, which Bo Dallas could be one of them. I don't know who else they could bring back to NXT, honestly. Maybe Ember Moon, I don't know. Just quit taking away stars now from NXT when they don't have stars to begin with. But a lot of people have said this for a while, and I still kind of agree. I can still kind of see it the way he's been booked. Damian Priest may be one of those guys that falls in the category of like Elias, or what we thought EC3 was going to be. Maybe even Samoa Joe, I don't know. Damian Priest is a guy that I think that WWE looks at and sees that he's more meant for the main roster. And he's just, being prepared for the main roster in NXT. So, even though I'd hate to see him have a short title reign, I'm going to give it to Johnny. I'm going to give Johnny the win here and have him become the North American champion. As I've been saying, for the past 3 title matches he's had for the North American championship. Okay, maybe the one with Keith Lee I could have forgiven, but, I mean, okay, at least they had him look like the second strongest, basically like the second closest to winning the match at TakeOver 30. So I can appreciate at least that they've at least tried to make him still look like more relevant than others. But again, like, he's had how many opportunities and he's lost. So in order for me to kind of get invested in this heel character again for him, he really needs to get something going for him. And putting a title on him, I think, is where he needs to go. So even though the idea of making him and Candice the power couple in NXT, I feel it should be with the NXT Championship and the NXT Women's Championship. For now, put the North American title on Johnny. Just put it on Johnny, and we may be seeing Damian Priest getting called up in the draft. It's possible. It's possible. I don't know if he's going to get called up or not. But I still hate to see Damian Priest, have a brief time reign. Even though he's had one successful defense against Timothy Thatcher. And he's had a couple other wins over, Austin Theory and I feel like one other person he's faced since he's won the North American title. But, so, tough one for sure. I think Johnny needs it more, though. I'm going to give it to Johnny. Johnny wins the North American Championship, and we'll go from there. So, again, definitely the toughest prediction I had to make for this takeover. Although, keep in mind, Johnny did pin Damian Priest in the mixed tag match this week, so that worries me a little bit, but with NXT, I don't think it always makes it seem like it matters whether they pin them or not. I don't know. But also, my other thing is quit making Johnny also a freaking comedy act. Also, like they had Io Shirai kick him in the he got hit in the nuts. And they had Io Shirai hit a moonsault on him. It's like don't book Johnny like that again. That's not how Johnny should be booked. I don't know. Like I said though, I just, if not here, then definitely just turn Johnny back being a face. I mean, Candice at least is working right to me. Candice at least has the gears turning for her as a heel. Johnny, I feel like he's just being a heel because they need a different, because he's still in NXT and he needs to put people over. But again, like I said, it's just not working for me. But maybe winning the North American title here could get things turned again. I've said this how many takeovers in a row, but this is really the last time I'm going to say it. Like, either here or just drop this heel Johnny Gargano character and make him a babyface again. Just saying. So that's my thoughts on that match again. Before I go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Let me see here. JR says Laura Sullivan could be that mystery person. You mean Laura Sullivan? Well, here's the only thing though. They said it's a former NXT champion. If they didn't say former NXT champion, we have a much more variety. But the fact that Lars Sullivan never won the NXT championship, that kind of makes him not an option. But if it was Lars coming back to NXT, fine by me. I still don't know when he's coming back. Anyways, he's been out for over a year now. Did you see this week that? I did see that Carmella was revealed to be the mystery person on SmackDown. Okay, we will talk about that when we get to SmackDown, though. But yes, I did see that, and I pretty much did figure that was the case, though. But thank you for your stuff in the live chat, as always, J.R. Campbell. So Johnny Gargano is going to win the North American Championship. Now let's move on to probably the match I am probably least excited about, the weakest match on this card, I gotta say. Kushida versus Velveteen Dream. Now, I already talked about Velveteen Dream. Either way, even though they turned him heel, because again, why is anybody going to want to cheer him right now? Again, like I said, WWE, in order just to fix Velveteen Dream's career, has to at least come out and say something. Not just that, he was gone because of his accident, not because of the allegations. That's all they said. No. They gotta come out and say something. Velveteen Dream come out and say something, because like I said again, I'm not this guy saying, Velveteen Dream is guilty, Velveteen Dream is innocent. I'm just saying I still, as a fan, personally feel Velveteen Dream got brought back too soon. And they already kind of threw him in like a big, in a big scene, put him in the North American title picture for NXT TakeOver 30. Like, that just kind of, I'm not saying it left a horrible taste in my mouth, but it's kind of made me feel like, it's like something was missing to give myself and like other fans that closure of like, okay, is he innocent or is he not innocent? Because there are still people that are getting hashtag Fire Velveteen Dream trending on Twitter and everything, and WWE to me is not acting on it. So that kind of leaves a bad taste in the mouth. So, like I said, how is Velveteen Dream supposed to have any character development if the only reason why he's a heel is because people don't want to cheer him right now because they don't have that closure as to, what's one of those allegations. And then there's Kushida. I like Kushida. But I don't think he's hitting it out of the ballpark as much as I expected him to do. This could maybe be the start to helping Kushida get to another direction. I mean, Velveteen Dream attacking him has kind of brought out, an aggressive side in him. But why? Like, there's still, like, that why, though. It's like Velveteen Dream attacked Kushida after Kushida basically lost the match for him in that triple threat match. But my thing was Velveteen, you still had the chance to still be in that North American title match because you weren't the one who got pinned, so you got to face Finn Balor in that second chance match. So, I mean, yes, Kushida is like, you're not going to attack me, but again, to me, it's still just like, again, something's missing. Something was missing from this build, and of course, it was just a kind of a quick build, whatever. Just the whole idea, I think they're trying to go stand like, Velveteen Dream being this whole idea of like, you want to share my spotlight with me. Well, no, you ain't going to do that. This is what happens when you get in my spotlight. So see you on Sunday. I feel like they're trying to take his babyface character and make it a heel character. But like I said, the elephant in the room is Velveteen Dream is only a heel because, he's he has, heat from the fans right now because of, his real life allegations. And just keeping him booked like that is not going to fix anything. It's not going to help him get his star power back. It's not going to make him feel like the next big thing that he had felt up until, those allegations. Again, if it was not for those allegations, Velveteen Dream would have been NXT champion. Velveteen Dream, Keith Lee would not have had that moment he had winning both the NXT, being a double champion at the Great American Bash. He would not have had that moment. Velveteen Dream would have won the championship, would have got beaten by Karrion Kross at TakeOver 30, and of course could have saved, the match for Kross and Lee for a longer time. We could have maybe had Keith Lee not go to the main roster and lose his theme music yet, but he would have been rightfully so been NXT champion, as he should have been, and probably gone to the main roster then, because there were rumors of him going to the main roster after TakeOver In Your House. But unfortunately, those allegations have just cooled him off completely and took away all of his mojo. So again, why should we invest in Velveteen Dream's character if, to me, he's just going to be, again, he's going to be like how Johnny, he's just going to be putting people over, taking losses, because again, why is anybody going to want to even see him as champion? Why would anybody, again, putting a title on him would just give him white heat, as in, this guy should not be champion again. Nobody even wants, there's people who don't even want to see him on TV right now. I'm not saying I wanted them. I'm just still saying if he's going to be here, WWE has got to come out with something more. That's why I keep saying that. They got to do that, but I've been saying that for a couple months now, and they've still not done anything about it. So, that's why this to me is the match that I am the least excited for. Because I feel like, and then Kushida also, I was actually the most interested in Kushida when he was in the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic and they brought in Alex Shelley. I actually thought they were a fun team. I remember I watched a match, I think it was between them and the Forgotten Sons, maybe? It was at an NXT live event, I think back in January this year? Yeah, January this year. Back in January, I think it was. At an NXT live event, right here at Stage AE in Pittsburgh. They had a match. It was Kushida, Alex Shelley taking on the Forgotten Sons, I believe it was. And it was a great match, and I loved it. I'm like, you know what? I even said that night, I'd be okay with them even being the Undisputed Era to win the tag titles. What happened? They lost in the first round of Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, and then Alex Shelley was never seen again. I don't know if they're just going to work out a deal or whatnot, but... So, either way, again, like I said, this match doesn't really interest me too much, but... Kushida gets the win here. Again, like, what's Velveteen Dream win here going to do for him? Again, nothing. Again, Nothing's going to be fixed for Velveteen Dream's career until somebody comes out and says something to at least give the fans that closure. That closure. Not just assume because he is back and whatnot. It's like, give the fans that closure. Because it's not going to help Velveteen Dream's career at all whatsoever. So, Kushida wins this match, as I think he should. So, we got that. And then, what's next? Okay, next is the one match I didn't want to spoil, but I kind of did with my talk about the first match. The NXT Women's Championship, Io Shirai versus Candice LeRae. These two, of course, had a match at TakeOver Toronto 2 back in the summer of 2019, and it was I think it was a no holds barred match, something like that. I thought weapons got involved and such, but it was a really good match. Definitely one of Candice's best matches at that point, and it was not long after Io had turned heel. Even though, again, what was the point of Io turning heel to begin with? Just to kind of like, light a fire and take. I mean, she was already fine as a babyface, but it's just like kind of just take her to another level. But then again, I keep hearing the rumors of the original plan was for TakeOver Toronto last year. It was supposed to be Io Shirai versus Kairi Sane, and Candice LeRae was supposed to challenge Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship. I'm not sure whether Candice would have won or not. But that was apparently the original plan. But then when Kairi got called up, the plans had changed pretty much. So these two do kind of have a history, which does make NJ come back full circle. And I even said at one point, what if Candice LeRae was eventually, because at the time again, Io was just nailing it for sure when she turned heel. And I thought she was going to be, instantly easy replacement for Shayna Baszler as a top heel in the women's division once Shayna dropped the NXT Women's title. Of course, a lot of things have changed and whatnot, and now we're here now a little over a year later. Io's a face again. Now Candice is the heel. This is not how I expect this to come full circle, but in some ways, again, it has worked. Again, though, as I said before, Candice, I think, has things going for her as a heel. Her husband is Johnny. I still feel like Johnny's just, again, I still feel like it's not working for Johnny. Candice, though, I feel like she has things going for her. Yes, the simple storyline of she was kind of playing the big sister to everybody. I mean, she was kind of the I don't want to compare it completely to her, but she was kind of like the Natalia of NXT. She was one there, maybe put people over and look good, and, she's grabbing a platform and whatnot, all that jazz. Just a well-respected veteran doing that. Now Candice is like, okay, you know what? I was tired of that. Now I want to actually get somewhere on my own. And, she sacrificed a lot of things. She sacrificed friendships. She sacrificed, other things as well. Some people say she's just getting into, that she's, her own husband's getting into her own head because of the monster Johnny's turned in over, starting with, his obsession over Tommaso Ciampa once, that turn happened back at TakeOver Portland, all that. So, with her, I think what definitely made me say, yes, put the belt on her, even though the booking of it has been a little bit odd, is the storylines going on with her and Tegan Nox. Which Tegan Nox now apparently suffered another ACL injury and she's going to be out for a while. So, obviously, with how she was written off with Candice attacking her before the number one contenders battle royale on NXT 2 weeks ago, that kind of leaves that, okay, we're waiting to see Tegan come back and get her comeuppance. And, quite frankly, also, I still think that should have been a story of how, okay, so here's what I'm going to say. Candice wins this match and becomes the champion. I think it's going to happen again. Io's had a good run as champion. She deserved to be champion. But I think, it's now the iron, the iron is fizzling hot on Candice. I'm not saying it's fizzling hot, but I'm saying, this is one of those moments where it's to capitalize on this and keep things going, keep the gears rolling, I think you got to put the title here on Candice. Because again, I am more positive Candice is going to win this championship than Johnny's going to win his North American Championship. Candice wears the pants in the family now, people. No, I'm kidding. But what I think is going to happen is Candice is going to win. She's going to have a lengthy reign at the championship, and then when Tegan Nox comes back, who's first Tegan's going to go after? Candice. Because storyline-wise, Candice wrote her off TV with her knee injury. Even though, again, I don't know how Tegan had suffered her knee, had re-torn her ACL again, which, again, geez, oh man, the third time. I feel so bad for that poor soul. But again, Tegan was just starting to, like, really, become a lot more serious of a contender in the women's division. Again, like, her storyline with her getting to her title opportunity with Io Shirai, like, look what happened with her. She won the opportunity, then she came out and she came out and admitted she's a lesbian, and, she basically just, like she had life rolling for her. She had, a lot of weight taken off her shoulders. I think, again, Tegan Nox just being Tegan Nox was getting herself over even more. I still say, though, with this end result of, Tegan Nox coming back and probably being the one to take the title off of Candice LeRae, though, I still think that should have been the story for her and Dakota Kai. I don't know if the pandemic messed that up at all, but I still think that should have been the storyline with Tegan Nox and Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai, if Tegan had already not gotten her comeuppance on Dakota, as I felt she did, Dakota could have won the title at TakeOver 30, and Tegan could eventually dethrone her to get her full comeuppance on her. But now that the ball's in the court with the Candice LeRae storyline, I feel like that's where you go with it. So, long-term booking there, I think Candice wins the title here, holds it till Tegan comes back, and Tegan wins the title off of Candice. That's what I'm going to say there for my prediction. So, unfortunately, I have 3 title changes on this show, but there's not going to be a 4th one. But this main event match coming up, I'm about to talk about next, I feel like could create the next big babyface in NXT. However, though, it's not going to be a typical, oh, he looked strong in the loss and shake hands afterwards. No. Not how it's going to be. Let's roll into it. The main event of NXT TakeOver 31. The Prince, the NXT champion himself, Finn Balor, taking on Undisputed Era's Kyle O'Reilly in O'Reilly's first singles match in NXT, and I believe his first pay-per-view singles match in NXT. Remember, he did debut having a singles match against Aleister Black a couple weeks before Adam Cole, and they officially aligned, and for Fish and O'Reilly officially aligned at TakeOver 30. But this is Kyle O'Reilly's first singles match on an NXT pay-per-view, and it's also his first singles title match in NXT as well. So it's for the NXT Championship. Kyle O'Reilly, definitely a very interesting pick here. Because, as I said before, there could have been other people they could have picked to face Balor in this opportunity. Could have been Tommaso Ciampa, who just turned heel recently. Back to being a heel, where I think he should be. Could have been Johnny Gargano revisiting their feud. Could have been Adam Cole in a rematch from, whenever it was, the NXT title was vacated by Karrion Kross. You could have had Keith Lee come back to get his rematch for the NXT Championship because he lost the title to Karrion Kross and then he just goes to the main roster. There was a lot of other options. Instead, they chose Kyle O'Reilly. They chose Kyle O'Reilly, who's been nothing but a tag team specialist in NXT. But I still think if there was anyone to pick, or again, Cameron Grimes, yeehaw! They could have picked him as well. They could have picked Dexter Lumis, who just returned on NXT this past week. They obviously have some big plans for him going forward. A few others, again, they have other options, but they picked Kyle O'Reilly, which is a very interesting dark horse pick, as I gotta say, to face him. I've always noticed in those tag title matches that, O'Reilly has had. O'Reilly has not had a chance for me to shine as a single star. And I don't watch much, Ring of Honor. I don't watch much of Japan or whatnot. A lot of people have said Kyle O'Reilly has much more to offer to him than just being in a tag team. And I can believe that. I have seen the potential in some of the matches that he's had with Undisputed Era involving weapons and such. the bumps he's taken, he has sold his ass off like a crazy ass mother effer. I'm just saying, he has charisma to him. He can talk. He's got good microphone skills. Like I like the segment he's had, like the vignette he had this week on NXT. Even the segment he had with Finn Balor as well. It kind of got me invested, for sure. But I do see that he may have more to offer than he's been able to offer as a tag team champion. So that's why I say, it's like, yes, we already love Adam Cole. Adam Cole has gotten to show his best. And if he is going to be a babyface for long term, Adam Cole, well, if he is going to fully solidify himself as a babyface, who knows when? I'm not sure when. I feel like at least here is where Kyle O'Reilly can solidify, at least himself can solidify himself as a babyface. And I think he could be, again, if you let Kyle O'Reilly loose and let him show more to him than just being a tag team specialist, and let him be Kyle O'Reilly, show he's made of a lot more, I think that could happen. Now, here's the thing, of course. My prediction, of course, is Balor to retain. Balor is retaining, no doubt about it. But in order to make Kyle O'Reilly a much bigger star, in order to make Kyle O'Reilly feel like, a bigger single star, in order to make Kyle O'Reilly begin to feel like the next big baby face in NXT, something else has to happen in this match. And the match that I think this could set up for, where it's going to be face versus heel, or face and face, even though I'm still thinking in the back of my mind, remember, they did kind of tease something with Kyle O'Reilly and Tommaso Ciampa recently, in a backstage segment on NXT. So they could go with that next. Or, hear me out on this one. What if, because the storyline, of course, with the promo that Adam Cole cut this past week, the Undisputed Era is happy for Kyle O'Reilly. They support him. They say that even as went up over how much he thinks Kyle deserves this opportunity. This may be, even though I feel it's been built weird because they've been booking Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole like a babyface for a few weeks, and Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish as heels. It's been a little bit like a weird booking without any, connecting some of the dots. What if this is where the Undisputed Era splits? And, maybe again the rumors about them keeping Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly as baby faces and Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish as heels. Could be the case. Or this could be Adam Cole simply just being jealous of Kyle O'Reilly or something like that, wanting to get his chance at the NXT Championship back and be back on top. Because does Adam Cole really not want to be at the top of the food chain, like the top dog in the Undisputed Era? Like that, to me, that kind of does make sense. But also, getting back to big stars in NXT who are staying and not really having much of a direction to them. What if, keeping Adam Cole a babyface could be a good idea to give him a different, a fresh direction, a fresh storyline. Even though I personally still feel the entire Undisputed Era should have a brief run as a babyface. Kind of make their breakup be like it was with the Shield. Have them go out on their highest note. Have them be one of the biggest and hottest acts, as they have been over the past 3 years. But this time, let them be cheered and be baby faces, and then have someone pull the trigger and turn on them. Could be that either. But getting back to this, I said Kyle O'Reilly and Tommaso Ciampa as a possible next year for Kyle O'Reilly as a single star. Either of those directions, I was referring a lot to Adam Cole. Whether it's, Adam Cole staying a babyface, or Adam Cole, not wanting to see Kyle O'Reilly become the more, dominant member of the Undisputed Era. Be like, the top dog in the Undisputed Era. Either way, I mean, Kyle O'Reilly and Tommaso Ciampa sounds good to me. But what if this match was booked to start teasing a match with Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole? And again, I feel you can do it two ways. You can either do it just, again, Adam Cole remaining a heel and not wanting to see Kyle O'Reilly become like the next, the superior one in the Undisputed Era, get more over than Adam Cole. Like, it's like, I'm Adam Cole. Nobody is better than me. Even being threatened by one of his own brothers. So you could go that way, or it could be just a babyface run if they want to keep Adam Cole a babyface, give him a fresh direction in his character, and just basically be like, Kyle O'Reilly says, in order for me to be the best, I need to beat the best. And it could set for a match, because I think they're still doing a takeover next month for Survivor Series weekend. Maybe another War Games. I'm not sure. Is there really anybody right now to be set for a War Games match? So that's my only thing. But for whatever it is, the next NXT TakeOver pay-per-view, what if this could be the start to the build of a match between Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole? So the finish of the match is somehow going to lead into that direction. I think either way, even though, like I said before, I'd rather see Undisputed Era as a team have a brief run as babyfaces, become like the hottest act, and then boom, break out when you least expect it, like it was with the Shield, clean sweeping Evolution, just for Evolution, just to pull Seth Rollins away from them. I think we may be going with, at least, Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish being heels, and both Cole and O'Reilly being babyfaces, or just O'Reilly being a babyface and whatnot. Either way, though, something has to happen in this main event besides just Kyle O'Reilly losing strong, but then gaining the respect from Finn Balor, saying, "Oh, you're good." No. This needs, and like I said before, if NXT wants to, get the momentum back again, get off this, this falling wheel thing they're having right now, Kyle O'Reilly, I think, is the best choice right now they have to be built as the next big babyface, the next fresh character. I mean, yes, Adam Cole could very well be that as well, but again, we've already seen Adam Cole shine and be, the performer he is today. Kyle O'Reilly, I think, is, if they want to build a new star as a single star, Kyle O'Reilly, I think, is an excellent choice. Build him as a star, and build to a match with him and Adam Cole. And when it happens, I think it could be a match of the year contender. I think it's going to really, really light another fire again in NXT. Like, again, when NXT kind of, lost people to the return of the brand split in 2016, it was Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa storyline, I think, that started, kind of, and even like the build of Andrade. Like, it was like it snowballed into, building other stars based off of one storyline. Kyle O'Reilly, again, could be that person. Could be that difference maker in NXT, as I believe. Again, you can have him feud with Tommaso Ciampa. You can have him feud with Johnny Gargano. You can have him feud with, he's already feud with Balor, of course, Adam Cole and whatnot, like I said, but Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole is the next big money match to me right now in NXT. So let's see if we can roll with that and get to that. And that, my friends, that was my predictions for NXT TakeOver 31. Again, thank God I got a good night's sleep last night to come up here and do this, and, because I think there was a lot of interesting points I made for this show. This definitely has potential to be one of the weakest takeovers for sure, but there is some hope still in this show to be a turning point, especially in that main event. So we'll see. But that, guys, is my prediction again. Bo Dallas will be the mystery man. Isaiah Swerve Scott will become the NXT Cruiserweight Champion. Johnny Gargano will become the NXT North American Champion. We may see Damian Priest get called up. Kushida will win over Velveteen Dream. I got Candice LeRae defeating Io Shirai for the NXT Women's Championship. And Finn Balor retains the NXT Championship, but Kyle O'Reilly becomes a big star. Possible break of the Undisputed Era, but we're going to see the beginning of the build to Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, to me, the next big money match in NXT. So, that's my thoughts. Anybody else, anything else to see in the live chat? Let me see what we got here. It says, fine, man, I'm leaving after your live chat, and I'll be back tonight, or I'll be back later for your SmackDown thing, or whatever. I'll be back for that. Cool. And I would love to see Karrion Kross come back. Information about the NXT title and face Finn Balor. See you next championship or something like that. I mean, Karrion Kross and Finn Balor sounds like a good idea to me, but I'm not sure how long Karrion Kross is going to be out. I'd say maybe at least the earliest till Rumble, but I've heard it could be even for like a year. So I'm not sure how long Karrion Kross is going to be out for. But again, I'm fine with Karrion Kross versus Finn Balor. But yeah, thank you, Jared Campbell, though, for your thoughts in the live chat as well. And I have about half an hour till I got to get out of here. But I definitely got up here and talked a lot more about this than I thought I would. But it was a good stream. I like what I did. And again, I will have to rewatch the main event of AEW Dynamite. And then I'll review Dynamite and SmackDown tonight. And of course, tomorrow night, tomorrow I'm going to be driving about an hour north to visit my one friend and watch TakeOver tomorrow. So, depending on how late the show goes, which I don't think is going to be longer, like a 2.5 hour show. Depends on how I feel when I get back. I may review TakeOver tomorrow night. If not, then I'll wait till Monday after work. But I will be reviewing, of course, TakeOver 31. So, guys, that's my thoughts on NXT TakeOver 31. What are your thoughts on NXT TakeOver 31? What are your predictions for this show? Do you think Kyle O'Reilly has the potential to be the next big babyface in NXT? Do you think Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly is the next big money match in NXT? Do you think Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae will become the next power couple in NXT, winning both the titles here? Do you think Damian Priest goes to the main roster? Do you think any other NXT superstar goes to the main roster? Also, who do you think is the mystery opponent, the mystery man? Do you think it is Bo Dallas? Do you think it's somebody else? Who knows? Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Slap a like on the video. Subscribe and comment to my channel. And follow me on Twitter at DemandAirBoy93. Till then, guys, I am out. Have a good rest of your afternoon. I'll be back here tonight for 2 more streams tonight for Dynamite and SmackDown. So till then, guys, have a good rest of your day. I'll see you guys all in about 6-7 hours, who knows? We'll see. Have a great day, guys. See y'all later. Peace out, everybody.